Hey there, I'm calling this video Lessons Learned. Now this is my first shot at narrating, so things may get a little off at times, so please bear with me. Now when I'm making my wooden pet names, I really like to figure out what the pet's personality is like for my customer. You don't want to design something that really doesn't fit the pet's personality. If you have a cat that is more standoffish, or rules the roost, or has whipped cream on their nose, you really want to find an image that is going to fit that cat. I like to learn about their personalities and what type of pet they are. And as you can see, Inkscape is really pretty easy to navigate. So if you want to switch the image up, it isn't too difficult to do. You also have to choose a wood type to fit the type of pet that it is. How large of a piece do you want to use, the type of grain. Then you get to sanding. I was astounded about the number of steps that goes into sanding, the number of grits that you need to use, going back and forth. Can you cut two pieces of wood and sand them at the same time to expedite the process? Once you've got them cut, how long does it take to sand? You can see on the right, it's a lot better than it is on the left. With my Festool, it took many swipes to get that. I check my work with a flashlight to make sure there's no little scratches. If you find a scratch, guess what? You're starting over. Boy, that's quite the process. But it's well worth it in the end when you have an image that really fits your pet. Now for this little guy, I chose Chechen. I felt like that wood and grain really fit. See the images there? Now here's something that I've been struggling with. I cannot insert my saw blade into the inners of the word without bending it. I go through so many blades. If anyone has any tips, I'd really appreciate it. Oi, see that? I don't know what to do. While I was cutting this guy, I realized that he wasn't even. I had to eyeball it so that once you stand it up, it isn't going to wobble. And I noticed that, uh-oh, that's not going to match. And he's going to tilt back and forth. So I added a little extra as I was cutting. See on the bee, you got extra blue there, but none on the cat, which managed to keep it from wobbling too badly. I am going to need to do some sanding. I also discovered that I should have just used one piece of paper versus piecemealing them together. I wanted to save some money and not use a larger piece of paper, and this started to come apart as I was working on the scroll saw. That was very hard. I couldn't believe it. Lesson learned, use the bigger piece of paper. Now once you're done with your scroll saw work, let's check the insides to make sure there's no rough spots. I find that a flashlight helps to see. See that spot right there? That needs to be sanded down. But once you get the sanding down, then everything is smooth and you're good to go for your poly. Now I store my poly in an old Pepsi bottle. I find that if you do 4 coats of poly on your work, that really gives it a nice shine. Whoops, okay. Looks like my camera was a little off there. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you get the idea. Now, if you notice, I use little makeup sticks to try and get to the insides of the letters. That I find helps make sure that there are no dry spots. You really want to make sure everything has an equal coat to have the shine. Except if you can see there, sometimes when you're working with these makeup sticks, they get stuck. Yep, that bee took my head of my makeup stick. That shouldn't be too hard to poke out. Now that you've done your coat of poly, let it dry and then start all over. 4 coats I find is the best. Really nice shine. My guys are about 3 inches, maybe 3.5 tall by 12 inches long. That turned out really nice. I enjoyed doing this. Thanks so much for watching.